September means that school is starting, and that means it's time for some after-school snacks. I teach 8th grade English in Hastings, and I'm not the only one that knows a recipe or two. So this time, a little bit of recipes from me and some help from some of my teacher friends. These oatmeal bites are kind of like if you took a granola bar and you mixed it together with some cookie dough. So let's get this started because this is a super fast recipe, like all our after-school recipes. So in this bowl, I have 1 1/3 cup of just those quick cooking oats. And then to it, I'm gonna add 1/3 of a cup of honey. So to that honey and to that oats, I'm gonna add 1/4 of a cup of wheat bran, which you might be not as familiar with, but you can find this in any grocery store in Hastings. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna add some extra fiber to that recipe too, so it's an easy way to sneak in something healthy on your kids. And then I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of dark chocolate chips. There's a lot of sugar in there from that honey, and we're also gonna add some peanut butter too that's gonna bring some sweetness in, so dark chocolate's a good fit for this recipe. So now I have 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter, and it's gonna be a lot easier if I soften this up before I add it. So I'm gonna pop this in my microwave for 15 seconds before I add it. So what I've done is I've barely softened that peanut butter. So now you're gonna see it's gonna pour out really nice here. And those oils are starting to loosen up in that. If you have somebody at home that has a peanut allergy, you don't have to use peanut butter. Your family's probably come up with some sort of alternative to make those types of sandwiches, so you can easily substitute that here. So it would still be that 3/4 of a cup of measurement. If you find that once you start mixing it, it's a little too dry, all you need to do is add small amounts of honey until it gets to the point where you get that cookie dough consistency. So now I'm just gonna stir and make that happen. So now that that's all mixed together, I'm just gonna take my cookie scoop. I'm gonna come in and take a nice healthy scoop, get rid of my extra, and then I'm just gonna take and I'm going to smush it. And it's gonna be really soft because that peanut butter and that honey are at room temperature. And I'm just gonna roll it into my bite-sized ball. Actually, that's a little big, but chances are you're gonna want 2 bites and not just 1 with these because they're that good. So I'm just gonna take and roll these all out. So we have them all scooped up on my pan and they look absolutely delicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them into the refrigerator because remember I said that peanut butter's at room temperature. This is a snack that once you get it all combined, you're going to wanna let it sit in the refrigerator for about an hour before you eat it because then it'll be nice and solid. You'll also store them in the refrigerator too, and you can put them in an airtight container, and these will actually last up to a week in your refrigerator. So you can make them on Sunday before the school week starts, and you've got snacks for every day after school. Our next recipe is for fruit popsicles, and this is actually one of those really fast recipes that you can knock out lickety-split. So let's start with our banana, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to simply take the ends off. They're not gonna work for this recipe, but then I wanna cut them about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick. You can see it doesn't take long at all to slice it up, just like so. And then what I'm gonna do is push these to the side for the moment, and I'm going to take my strawberries and I'm gonna get 2 slices out of them. So I'm gonna take them and it's gonna be just like so, and then I wanna get rid of that little point on the end. So, just like that. With this, it's going to make 4 fruit popsicles, so 1 banana and 4 strawberries is all you need in order to have enough fruit for this recipe. So a few years ago, those crazes of making cake pops were everywhere, and you probably have some of these sticks lying around in your cupboard. You will probably want to find ways to use these up, and this is a perfect way to do this. So what you're gonna do is take a piece of banana and put that stick in there, and then I have some peanut butter. And our peanut butter is gonna act as our glue. I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna wrap it around the stick, put it on the banana. It doesn't have to be spread perfect and wonderful because I'm gonna take a strawberry and I'm gonna smush it on. Then I'm gonna take another piece of banana. Whoops. First, I'm gonna put some glue on there. I'm gonna put my peanut butter on, just like so. I'll take my banana, and now I'm gonna push that on. And I'm gonna get a little bit more of my peanut butter. and spread it on just like this. And the last thing I'm gonna do is top it with a final piece of strawberry. And like I said, this makes 4 popsicles. So what I'm gonna do is transfer my first popsicle onto a piece of parchment paper that's on a plate, and I'm gonna build the rest of my popsicles. So if you wanted to, you could be done right now, and these are kind of like that fruit kebab if you want to eat them at room temperature, but these are called fruit popsicles. So that means I'm gonna pop these into my freezer for about an hour, and then there's one last surprise that we have in store for our fruit popsicles. We have our frozen fruit with our frozen peanut butter, and they've been in the freezer for an hour. So the last thing we're gonna do is take some of this magic chocolate that once you squeeze it on, it starts to turn hardened chocolate, and we're just going to drizzle this over our fruit popsicles, and then we have that added little treat. You don't have to do this. You could also do this by melting chocolate in a microwave and putting it on the top, but this is a quick and easy way to do it if you want that extra chocolate punch. So we have 2 recipes under our belt, but I think it's time we get some fresh faces into this kitchen. So let's see what the teachers of Hastings can help me with next. I am here with Lee Arnoldy, and we are gonna make some microwave mac and cheese, but before we can do that, why don't you tell Hastings where you teach and what you teach?
I teach at Kennedy Elementary School, and I teach music there.
Ooh, so we'll have some good rhythm while we're cooking today?
I sure hope so.
So to get ourselves started on our microwave mac and cheese, we have a 1/2 cup of water in a really big measuring cup because it's gonna go into the microwave and we don't want it to boil over because it's a pain in the patoot to clean that up. And to that, we're gonna add 1/3 cup of elbow macaroni, if you'd be so kind as to put that in. Ooh, dramatic. Well done.
Thanks.
Now you can put your conducting skills to the test, and you can just swirl that around a little bit to get the noodles moist.
Oh, those look like moist noodles.
Oh, nice job. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this into the microwave for 2 minutes, and then we'll take a look at our next step. So I hope you're not overwhelmed at this point by the recipe.
Not at all.
I bet you've had mac and cheese before.
I have.
Oh, well then you are an expert for making mac and cheese. So we are at the 2-minute mark, and we're just stirring that up. So would you say with music programs at Kennedy, do you have like one big program at the end of the year? Do you do it all year long? How does music work?
Well, we do have several different types of programs. What we do is we have a cougar choir that meets before school, and they have a few concerts during the school year. Gotcha. One closer to the winter time, they'll have one in the spring, and we just want them to get performing as much as they can. And then we have the general music, and we separate them out. Kindergarten, first and second have informances, which are in our room. Parents can come in, front row seats, and it's a smaller, more intimate setting. Parents get to snap lots of pictures. Very cool. 3rd and 4th grade get their taste of the stage, though, and they actually have a performance that happens in our gymnasium, and parents are welcome to come to that.
Oh, wow. So music is a fantastic opportunity for kids in elementary in Hastings, I would assume?
Oh, absolutely.
I was gonna say, you're gonna be an advocate for it, I'm sure.
Yes, I am.
All right, so 2 minutes in the microwave, and then we'll start getting cheesy. So we have our water pretty much all absorbed into our noodles, so now we're gonna cheese it up. I have a 1/4 cup of milk, and you have a 1/2 cup of cheese, if you'd be so kind. And then we can just gently stir that together till it looks kind of noodly, milky, cheesy. And then the nice thing is we are almost done with this because we just need one more quick round in the microwave. We're gonna put it in for about a minute, and then our macaroni and cheese is gonna be done. We're gonna let all of that cheese and milk absorb into the noodles, and it will be delicious and fantastic. Beautiful. Well done. So the last thing we need to do is just sprinkle in some pepper, sprinkle in some salt. We'll give it a little stir to bring it all together. And this macaroni and cheese is gonna look really loose to start with, but you just let it sit and it will come together really nicely. That's how you know it's not gonna burn your tongue once it's all set up. It's a fun trick. So Lee, if someone is interested in coming to a concert at the elementary schools, how would they find out about coming to a concert?
Well, as soon as the dates are known, I would post them up on my website. That is the classroom music website at Kennedy, and you can find me under Lee Arnoldy. And we're pretty good about sending out reminders to parents as well through that, but if the community is interested, they can certainly check there.
All right, thank you so much, and this looks delicious, and we can't wait to bite in. So we'll see you for our next recipe in just a moment. Teacher number 2 is Mr. Andy Leiser, and he is going to make pizza bagels with me. So in order to get our pizza bagel started, we have almost all the way sliced through bagels. Just gonna separate it, and you can put that into the toaster.
Yeah, I will happily put this in the toaster. All right, do you like your cut side facing one another?
I am content with whatever you select.
All right.
So while that's toasting, Andy, where do you work in Hastings?
I work in the elementary schools. All 3 public elementary schools in town, McCullough, Kennedy, and Pinecrest. And I work with K through 4 students, making the most of our technology tools.
So what does it mean to make the most of technology?
Well, we've been fortunate to receive mobile learning devices, iPads, Chromebooks. There have been smartboards for a long, long time. And my job is to make sure that these are tools that are used to showcase learning and to show what we know in ways that were never before possible. So transformative.
Okay, sorry,
It is popped. All right. Now it could be hot.
Oh, so gently take the bagel out of the toaster. And you can have a half and I'll have a half.
There you are.
And now we're gonna pizzafy our bagels.
Let's pizzafy.
So since this is targeted towards school children, we're keeping it simple with cheese and pepperoni, but I'll give you a spoon, and the first thing we can do is just take and put some sauce on our bagel.
Okay.
And you don't need to have a lot, because if you have too much, it'll fall through that bagel hole in the middle.
Sure. Dabble, do you?
Yep. You can spread it around, unless you like really saucy pizza.
I'm kind of a saucy guy. All right.
So then you have a choice. You can put your pepperoni first or your cheese first. I usually go pepperoni first.
Gonna hide the meat,
A little sneak attack.
Can I do a little bit of both?
You can do it however you
It's like
want.
bonus pepperoni under the cheese.
That's the best part about pizza bagels, is you can make them however you want.
Okay, so I've got my foundation of hidden pepperoni.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna go with 1 on top.
I just put 6 on. I just went to
I'll
town.
take those. Are you kidding? So I have my base pepperoni.
Okay, so then we have 2 cheeses. We have mozzarella and Parmesan. You can mix. You can make it more like a cheese toast, but I'm gonna do a mixture.
Oh, for sure, a mixture.
And then sprinkle it on.
Why
the tip.
2 cheeses?
It gives you, actually when you go to like a pizza restaurant, they always have multiple cheeses. It's never just straight up mozzarella. So when I make pizza at home, I like to have multiple cheeses in there as well.
Sure.
Some places too will actually, when you start going into the depths of the internet, since you're a techie man, you'll find out that some pizza places actually also, in addition to cow's milk cheese, they even have some goat milk cheese mixed in. So
It's a nice little ting, I'm sure, on that.
yeah. So now all we have to do is pop this into the microwave for about 20 seconds and we've made a pizza bagel.
That easy.
It's that
okay, probably
easy.
should take the spoons off.
Yeah, the metal in the microwave is a bad idea.
All right.
So is there any big ideas about technology you want people to remember before we part ways today?
Technology isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
We can't ignore the fact that it's here in our life, and it's a part of everybody's life. And so I'm very thankful that we're taking strides to purposefully integrate that and show kids how to use it the right way.
So on that note, cheers, and let's take a look at our next recipe. Pizza bagel. Our final recipe for today is turkey ranch wraps, and Lori Best and Jessie Home are going to help me make these. So ladies, where do you teach and what do you teach?
Well, I teach 7th grade math at Hastings Middle School.
And I teach 7th grade math at Hastings Middle School, right next door.
I have
It's
math
like twins.
teachers squared.
Yes, we're circles today, sorry. Okay.
So we are going to make an easy after-school snack. And the nice thing about this is it could be an after-school snack, or it's actually lunchbox stable where a mom could make it the night before and it could go to school and not be a sloppy mess by the time
Perfect.
lunch rolls around.
Perfect.
So Jessie, you can start by dicing up our yellow pepper. And Lori, we have 8 ounces of cream cheese and a tablespoon of ranch dressing mix. So I'm going to
Okay.
have you smush and mush those together.
Smush and mush.
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh, unless it's too humid and doesn't want to come out.
That's all right.
What is that? Ranch?
Ranch. Yep. And so the nice thing about this is we're keeping it simple with peppers, cheese, and meat today. But if you wanted to, if your kid's more of a tomato kid, or if you want to have vegetables only in there, you can decide what you want to put in there. So when we're doing this, we have that 8 ounces of cream cheese, the tablespoon of ranch dressing, and then the vegetables that we mix in want to be about 3/4 to a cup. That's a good measurement. So Jessie, as you get those diced, you are welcome to start tossing that into that cream cheese.
Kiddo.
Tossing.
Tossing.
From how far?
Tossing from 10 feet.
You know, I'm sure there's an equation that works with this, but I don't know if our basketball skills.
No, I don't think
So-
so. I don't think so.
Might not be a great idea.
So I also have a 1/4 cup of sharp cheddar cheese that I have shredded, and we're going to, actually this is a 1/2 cup, I misspoke, I'm having too much fun with you ladies already.
We are kind of distracted.
Yes. Ask our students.
So we'll just get that all mixed up in there together, and eventually it's going to become a spread on our tortilla. What we're making today is going to be enough to make 4 full-size tortillas. These are the 8-inch tortillas, not the 6-inch, so it'll make a decent-sized sandwich. You could have one of those like fancy like store. Is it still called a story problem? What's it called now?
We call them problem solving.
Oh, just problem solving, because you could
That's
have
how
like
math
2
comes
math
to you.
teachers.
That math anxiety starts the minute you say word problems,
problems,
story
story
problems. Everybody
So-
gets
So
uptight.
it's just math.
Math.
It's just
math.
real
So you
life.
could have a math problem, like 2 middle school math teachers at a rate of 3 slices a minute.
Frankly, we love the questions that are like, you know, Thelma goes to the store and buys 47 cantaloupes, and
Yes,
then nobody can
yes.
get over
That amount of
why.
cantaloupes.
Why?
Why would she need that?
Right.
Yeah.
Or the trains traveling towards each
Towards
other.
each other.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't
Danger.
really. Yeah, it's just bad.
Yes. Yes.
It's just dangerous,
Do you want
really.
me to recut that one?
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take about 1/4 of that spread and put it onto our tortillas, because like I said, it makes 4, so whoever's the fastest. Jessie. So between Lori,
I'll be the cheerleader.
so between Lori and I, we'll get this done right quick.
No, I'm just trying to put it into fourths. See, it's like a circle graph, and then
You're cutting
we're
it
trying
into
to
fourths.
portion it
Yeah.
kinda equally. Of course, with this fork, it's not working the greatest
Here,
for me.
have
so.
a spatula.
Thank you. Do you want the blue one? It matches. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So then we'll put 1/4 onto each of our tortillas once you have it segmented how you prefer.
There.
It's getting aggressive.
We really are good cooks. I just want to, in
Yeah.
case our skills might be
Yeah,
a
it's
little
all right.
deceiving today.
Do I have to spread it over
All
the
the way,
whole
the
thing?
whole
or
thing?
Yep,
just in the
all
middle?
the way
Okay.
to the edges. It'll make it nice when it comes to sealing it all up. And then once you get it spread out to the edges as you like, you can, oh, look at how my cameraman gave us a nice block of turkey.
Thank you for the block of turkey.
So then what we'll do is we'll just take 3 pieces of turkey and we'll lay it out on the sides, just like so.
Or you could use ham
Or roast
corned beef.
Oh,
or
fancy
anything
corned
you want.
beef.
Salami.
Or you could just make it a meat-a-palooza and have 3 or 4 kinds,
Palooza.
3 or 4 kinds of
Ooh.
meat.
I like that idea.
What did you call it?
A meat-a-palooza.
Meat-a-palooza. How do you spell that?
Meat-palooza.
Okay.
So
You
then
had to add.
all we need to do is take it and we're gonna roll it up nice and tight,
Okay.
just like so. And then once we get all 4 made, we're gonna put them into the refrigerator for about an hour, and then it'll be nice and set up and all those flavors will come together, and then we're ready to slice and eat, or you could have it just like one big long wrap too. So we will put these in the refrigerator and then we'll see what it looks like once it's all set up. So we have 2 of our turkey ranch roll-ups, and we're just gonna take our knife and we're gonna slice them the best that we can. And then really we're ready to go. And like I said, these you can actually make ahead of time and they'll last a nice long while. You could even, if you're a person that meal plans for the whole week, you could make these on Monday, and depending on the vegetables that you put in them, you could save them for a lunch box until Thursday or even Friday. You guys are making them all really fancy.
That's our
It's all
middle
about
name.
presentation.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, those should be.
Well, I know. This is what we would eat then.
Yep, that's for us.
Fine. All right.
So now it's time for our after school snack. Boop, boop, boop. Turkey. Cheers.
Cheers. Delish.
We are ready for some after-school snack time to the extreme. We have our oatmeal bites, we have our turkey ranch roll-ups, our easy peasy microwave mac and cheese, a pizza bagel, and those frozen fruit pops. This is gonna be an easy way to get that boost of energy you might need when you come home from school. So remember, the apron's optional, but the flavor isn't.
Fake it really.
They're pretty good.